Welcome to the Grappling Grappling Rewind Podcast.
Welcome to this week on the Grappling Rewind Podcast. In this show, we're going to recap Fight to Win 109 in Baltimore, Maryland. We're going to preview the Abu Dhabi Worlds. We're going to preview Fight to Win 111 in Cleveland, Ohio.
110.
What'd I say?
111.
We're starting off great.
Yep.
We're also going to preview the Brothers 8-man, 150-pound women's division.
So that would be 8 woman, not 8 man.
That's a good point as well, Josh. And the ADCC European Trials. As always on the show, I'm your host, Maine, here with my co-hosts.
Ryan Stark.
Josh Weinstock.
All right, the voices are going to be reversed there. So, oh, man, it's going to be one of these shows. So, we went to Fight to Win this weekend. The whole
Did
team.
we?
We did.
Yeah.
Josh, you competed on Fight to Win.
Did I?
You did.
Are you sure?
You did. I saw you. You were
I don't
there.
know if that's true.
Ryan was there.
Yeah,
we had Austin
we
there.
should post the intro to the page. Was that posted yet?
The intro to the page?
Yeah, when he walked in with his hair and shit.
We can post that.
Yeah.
I can be the preview for this
What
week's segment.
intro?
I'm like, what?
What? Yeah, both Josh and I looked at Ryan.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, good to have you back.
Yeah,
It's been a
thanks.
while. I'm going to try not to talk over you at every conceivable opportunity this time.
I'll just yell at you if you do it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, before we get back into Fight to Win, do you want to go through some news this week?
What's the news? Let's get some news.
So, in news this week, Keenan has announced that he's starting his own school.
Thinking about starting his own school.
I thought he announced that
It's
he was...
not concrete.
Where was it in his story? Somebody said?
Yeah, his Instagram story.
That's just like saying it to somebody.
Still,
Yeah.
he's going to...
You got to post it on your main Instagram page if you're serious.
You got to have a spot, and you got to have the paperwork holding it and being like, look, motherfucker.
I signed my lease.
Did Keenan Online talk about it also? Or just Keenan?
I didn't delve that far.
No, it matters. It matters.
Is Keenan Online a separate personality?
I think it's a person. I just mean if he's announcing it in both places, then it establishes more real, I guess, to me. Then he's really actively trying. He's not just kind of thinking about it.
He had a
He's
post on
promoting
Reddit as
it.
well that
Yeah.
he was doing
Okay,
stuff.
let's talk about this. Ryan Stark talking shit about Keenan Cornelius. There's some news.
Yeah.
Ryan doesn't believe you yet.
Yeah.
How about that?
Ryan Stark, purple belt aficionado, does not believe you're going to start your own school.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's coming after you because he's your former team, brother.
Yeah. So, Jesus, this is going to go off the rails really quick. I have an inclination. So, Mahamed Aly was announced as out of ADCC. Then he was announced as moving up to 99. I spoke to him at Fight to Win, and he was like, "I cannot make under 99. I'll be going up."
Okay.
So that's big news because now he's in the same bracket as Spriggs.
Yeah, and Spriggs was saying that he's going to make it. So his injury is obviously not going to hinder that.
That's awesome. So we'll see both those guys at ADCC. They'll probably match them up in the first round because it's typically what ADCC does.
They'll get it fairly close because
First
they're
or
not
second
gonna
round,
wanna-
usually.
They don't want to close out. So we'll see how it goes.
That's pretty
Has that
standard.
ever happened?
No, but they've definitely people have worked matches before for
Like
quickest
one
submission
time.
and stuff
One
like
time.
that.
Oh, okay.
There's been one worked match in ADCC history, and
Thanks, Matt Hughes.
I always forget the other guy who was in it. It was Matt Hughes and someone else.
Was it Linland?
We always think it's Lynn. I don't think it's Lynn. I think it was someone else.
It was somebody from that team. Whatever.
Google it. You can find it.
Google it.
Google it. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. Fight to Win announced that they're going to be producing ADCC.
Seth announced it.
Okay, Seth, CEO of Fight to Win, announced that they're going to be producing ADCC.
Maybe the production will actually be good.
It should be fucking dope, dude.
You know, because most of the other times it's a fucking shit show with, you know, a bunch of ding-dongs. They're like, I guess we can point a camera. And, you know, those guys, they only do shows like every fucking weekend. So I think they know what they're doing.
I would say after going to them in Philly a bunch of times, in Baltimore a bunch of times, and seeing a bunch of their shows, they do a pretty good fucking job. So I am excited that Fight to Win is going to be, or Seth is going to be producing ADCC this year. Because I got my tickets. And if you haven't bought your tickets yet, you should get your tickets. Because I have an inclination that prices are going to go up. Because Mo announced that the prices for tickets were going up at some point in the future, and they have not gone up yet. So you should get your tickets before they go up.
Can they do that or just like this year?
Can they do that?
I mean, of just like jacking them up now? Aren't they
You
available?
ever registered for
didn't you buy 'em?
IBJJF?
Yeah, I guess
And then like they're like, well, by the way, if you don't register by this day, it's going to be $700 more if you do this day. Yeah, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, it's true.
So in more ADCC news, Robert Whittaker has announced he's going to ADCC Oceanic Trials, or the Asian Trials at this point now. I'm excited for that.
What was that noise?
That was me hitting the mic with
Okay.
my headphones.
Oh, it sounded like a weird water drop.
That was
off
like a
in the
sound
distance.
effect. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it was.
interesting.
It was a Foley.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I'm glad Robert Whittaker's fucking hernia or whatever is good enough now that he can grapple against dudes, but he can't fucking fight.
Isn't he scheduled? He's scheduled to fight Izzy now.
When?
September?
I don't give a shit.
Josh, how do you really feel about this? God, you're coming in salty as shit today. Holy shit. You shaved your head. You're looking all clean shaven.
My head's been shaven.
Okay, you shaved the beard.
Well, I lost a bet, and I fucking owned up to it.
All right.
You did shave your beard.
Yeah. He looks
Why
really...
is it that people look at me and they're like, something is different? Did you cut your hair?
Because you look weird. Like, you have a weird-looking face when you have no beard and no top
Why
hair.
do you think I have a beard all the time? Because I
That's
look
me.
really creepy.
You do.
That's
Yeah,
me.
it's bad. It's not great. So, in other news, as we get off how weird Josh looks, Half and associate got charged with felony assault for the IBJJF No-Gi Worlds incident where they punched Flavio Almeida in the face.
They wrecked his fucking face is what they did.
Yeah.
He's being held on $50,000, not being held, when
He has
his
a
bail.
warrant out for his arrest.
Yeah, and their bail is $50,000 apiece.
Supposedly, because they're not in custody yet, so you can't set bail. And if you think about
Really? Is that not a thing?
it, how are you going to have bail if you're not
Josh,
in custody?
I don't
Or
get
maybe they'd say
arrested
would
very
be set
frequently, so I
bail.
don't really
I
know
don't
how the
know.
process works.
So that's the other thing. Like $50,000, you're like, oh, normally to post bail you have to pay like 10%, or maybe even less than that.
It's like 5, I think.
But it's like $5,000. Like that's not a big deal. Like if they were like, you have $5 million bail, I'd be like, oh, that's some serious fucking shit. But yeah, 50 grand. It's like, oh, okay, you just got to pay $5,000 and you'll get out.
Yeah, but it's been interesting. They actually have Orange County has issued an arrest warrant for both of them, which is interesting because that was what
Forever
a
ago.
while
Yeah,
ago,
a long ass time ago.
at this point. But Orange County's actually moved forward with pressing charges against them, which is I don't know what kind of took so long.
After a 7-month investigation.
We have a video,
Probably wasn't 7 months, but
something
It's
like
been
that.
a couple of months,
It's been a couple
but
months.
still, it's
yeah.
But it was interesting that it's not a private suit. It's actually Orange County is going after them individually, which is interesting.
It's interesting because if you think about it, Flavio Almeida's brother, Ricardo Almeida, is underneath Renzo. Half is Renzo's brother. So I wonder how this is going to affect relationships.
I wonder how it already affected relationships. It's kind of a family feud to begin with. Now it just gets interesting. And Jiu-Jitsu does this from time to time, but it's interesting. There's actually been charges levied now that are official. So that's all I got for news. You guys have anything else for news?
No.
All right, let's.
No.
God damn it, Ryan. All right, let's move on to the recap section of the show.
Oh, shit.
On to a recap of Fight to Win 109 in Baltimore, Maryland. This event paid at a total of $37,517 in salaries and commissions and was headlined by DJ Jackson defeating Arnaldo
Maidana.
by split decision to retain the black belt middleweight no-gi title. Thank God you're here for the names, Josh. It has been a rough couple of months.
I do what I can.
Emil's gotten a lot better though. I haven't gotten any better, but Emil's gotten much better at names, which has been a good thing.
At
So,
least it's not you and Austin.
that was rough. Austin and I are both pretty terrible at names, and
Love
so
you, Austin.
Yeah, I'm not good either. Nor can I read that from
Yeah,
here.
but
So
we
please
got
don't ask me.
we got Josh though. Are you that blind, Ryan?
I mean, I can
Can
read
you
it,
not see
but
that
it's a little
Ryan's at
sideways.
like a 15-degree
Yeah,
angle
I'm
to
reading-
the
yeah.
to the screen?
Yo,
Yeah.
this is what you do during pre-recording.
This shit is isosceles over here. I
Is
can't
you
even
you,
see
can't,
the
you
thing.
say, "Hey, Maine,
Excellent math term.
I can't see the screen. Would you turn it for me?" And I can. All right. So on to this matchup. What do you guys want to start? You guys start with the top of the card or the bottom of the card for black
Let's
belts?
just start at the top.
All right. DJ Jackson defeats Arnaldo
Arnaldo Maidana. How do you get Orlando from an A?
I don't know, man. It's a soft A. It sounds like an O. It's Brazilian, man. I don't know. They pronounce their letters funny.
Holy shit. Anyway, this was pretty much a DJ Jackson match where he's a fire hydrant and you can't knock him over. There were some attempts on him where he almost got caught and stuff, but he went around, he passed, he did this like chin strap kind of motion from like north-south, and it was almost trying to do a guillotine type thing. It was really interesting. It was a fairly close match. I could say it could go either way, but I
mean,
think
it ends up in a split decision.
Yeah,
which is
well, that's not saying much because I feel that the refereeing on this card was terrible.
there was some interesting match. There were some interesting decisions that went down on this card.
Bad.
Again, I knew a lot of the guys, so I think this is a hard card for me to judge like it was good or it was bad. Like I'm super biased and I try not to be, but
That's where I have trouble. If I know them, I'm like, do I feel bad for the person? But
No.
And am I looking at the rule set right and all that stuff?
There was a lot. I think I noticed a
There's
lot
couple
of
bad ones.
I noticed a lot of split decisions on the card, more so than I'm used to seeing. And there was some matches I was like, that's interesting that ref saw it that way. There was a couple of them where I was like, I don't know really how you could see it for the other guy, but okay.
So that's why they have 3 refs too, to do that for that reason.
I like that.
Because then
it's
if you
not
have one shitty one, then you get one bad decision. But now you only have, if you have 2 correct answers and 1 wrong answer, then it's not a big
But what happens if you have 2 wrong answers and 1 correct answer?
Wait,
Then
what are
they-
you doing math over
Well,
here?
if they're 2
Yeah.
wrong, then
Well,
it must be right
Emil's
because
not
it's the
here.
majority. At least that's the way I would look at it.
2 wrongs don't make a right,
Oh,
Ryan.
shit. It's true.
Oh my god.
It doesn't grab.
It was a DJ Jackson match. DJ Jackson did,
It was awesome.
did DJ Jackson things. It'll be interesting to see.
He wore a suit.
He did wear a suit
A lot.
to the weigh-ins,
Yep.
to the event. Walked around. I'm sorry he didn't
In the
walk out in it.
back, yeah.
In the back, he was in it. I swear to God, I thought he warmed up in the suit.
Yeah.
No, he did not.
But yeah. So next match we had Shane Jamil Hill Taylor defeating Leo Segorio.
Segorio.
Now it's turned sideways. Nothing but it's turned sideways for me.
You have a laptop directly in front of you that you can use to take care of that issue.
What are you, blind,
Anyway,
Maine?
so good call, Stark. Anyway, this was a rematch of Worlds from Pans. Excuse me, Pans. From this past April, something like that, where
March.
Jamil lost by really close decision, and this time.
He lost by like a penalty, didn't he? And
Well,
it was like
yeah,
it was
he
like
was
a
like
weird
trying to
penalty.
running him out. He was trying to balance and stay in, and he got pushed out, and they gave Leo points. So it was kind of controversial. I feel.
I remember specifically disagreeing with the way that point scoring went because I talked about this on the show. Like the way that Shane had defended that particular takedown, I was like, "That's how you do that." And he didn't run away from the match during Pans.
And something different happened to Leo too, didn't it? Where like he did something similar, but he didn't. Like
Yes.
Shane didn't get points
Yes.
because how he ran out, and I was
Yeah.
like, there wasn't much difference in terms of
Right.
escaping
So
a
This was
takedown.
the rematch.
and Shane avenged his loss.
It was a pretty close match, honestly. Like this is a really well match. These guys match up really well. There's a lot of action, and Shane gets the decision.
Yeah. Moving on. Thiago Reinaldo defeated Jeff Manalanson by omoplata.
And that was submission of the night for the black belts.
It was a very quick match and a very tight omoplata. And Jeff was saying when I ran into him in the back a couple minutes after the match ended that he was already tapping when it was when Thiago was starting to come up, and then he started yelling tap and then started hitting his foot, and that's when the ref stopped it. So he definitely heard a couple of pops. He was saying that the first pop he knew it was bad, and he was hoping the second pop put it back into place.
Ew.
I only saw the foot tap, so that sucks.
Yes.
Yeah, because the dude, I remember watching and thinking like he is Thiago standing up almost. He was like he was really leaning up.
And these guys are big. These were super heavyweights. Like these are very large gentlemen, and it made my shoulder go like. Ugh.
This was the second grossest omoplata of the evening.
Oh my God! Well, that was an omoplata. We saw. So we'll talk about David.
Yeah,
we'll talk
you're
about
right.
David's match. With
Shoulder
belts.
lock, I guess I'll show you.
Well, that was
Good call.
Yeah.
one of the most. David's match was one of the most disgusting arm positions I've ever seen. That they didn't break the arm.
Did you see his post in the chat earlier about how he was saying, "How is my arm backwards right here?"
Yeah, he posted a picture. All right, fuck, let's talk about that match. So
No.
All right.
No, we'll get to it.
We're
That's
jumping
just
all
the
around
inner
here.
workings of the gym. Anyway, moving on. Brian Nielsen defeated Zach Davis by decision. Isaac July Jr. defeated Will Moreno by decision.
This was a lot of fun. I like these. These guys both like Isaac was trying to do that giant Harigoshi that we saw Craig Jones hit on like Dante Leon, like a really similar direction where Will would push into him, and you saw Isaac like trying to throw it. And he threw it a couple times, but he could never like get the leg in
Will
front all the way.
disengaged every time.
Yeah, pretty much, because Will knew what was coming, and Will was like, nope.
He didn't even know it was coming, but he knew he was going to get thrown, and he went, "Ugh," and just backed away. Ty Ryan Murphy defeated Brad Pearson by split decision.
And that was fight of the night for the black belts.
Those dudes were throwing each other off of the mat
They were
continuously.
There were 3 or 4 ring outs during.
Yes.
Not like oh they kind of fell off. Like they both fell off of the mat.
straight WWE, like going through a table power bomb.
And then
kind of
someone in the
thing.
back was like, "Did they get points for throwing them off the mat?" I want to say that was
It almost became intentional.
it was intentional a couple times.
Yeah,
but I think it was you. Ryan, did you ask? You're like, "Do they win if they throw them off the mat?" I was like, "No, Ryan, they do not."
They should. They should.
So that was deservedly fight of the night. Like that was
It was awesome
They
match.
I think they fell off at least 3 different sides of the mat, if not all 4.
I think it was 3.
Okay,
Two
it was
to
Two to
right.
one side and then 1 to the other sides and not towards the catwalk.
You should get the victory if you knock them off all 4 sides.
that
That should be the win.
A technical
Yes.
fall.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Like, hey, ring out 4 times on 4 sides.
Yeah.
Okay, you get it.
Yeah.
So that was a fun match. Like a lot of like aggressive standing and a lot of pushing, and it got I think Emil term is chippy. It got chippy at sections during
it
the
did.
match where they were getting
Everybody
a
was
little.
slamming the mat. That was a good one though. A little
That was
bit.
definitely a good one.
It was fun. Everybody was getting really hyped. That had probably the most emotional match I would say of the night.
Definitely, I think it was the loudest that a match got. Some of the walkouts were really, really loud. I think that was definitely the most hype the crowd got. I think it was definitely deservedly
Definitely.
fight of the night for the black belts. Like it's one to go back and rewatch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So on to the next match, we have Colin Stewart defeating Josh Weinstock via decision.
Yeah. That's about it. Like, there's not much more to say about that match than that.
I mean, there's a little more to say about it. You have to-
There's absolutely nothing more to say about that. Like,
This is your first black belt match
This
at
is-
Fight to Win,
okay, yes, this is my first black belt match at
and
Fight
Seth
to
called you Professor Weinstock,
So
which
weird.
sounds fucking weird
So
every
weird.
time I hear it. It's weird.
Win. So weird.
Like we all admit it's weird. That's weird.
It's weird. This was a boring match. Colin and I both knew that this was a boring match. Colin and I both know each other's games very well, and we came in planning to counter each other's things and both did stuff to where it ended up being nothing. So apologize for you having to sit there for 7 minutes and watch that. Colin tried to squeeze my face. I tried to fat guy choke him.
Repeatedly.
I mean, trying to rack up the points. Apparently that didn't mean anything. And then I picked him up and slammed him once. And that was really it. It was kind of... That match sucked.
Would you, Jesus, would you compete against a guy you knew again on a stage
No,
like this?
because we legit were talking to each other during the match, and we just couldn't.
Like,
Neither of us.
We know
could-
Colin kind of likes to compete a little more angry.
he
Like,
does,
That's
and
what he
we
kinda
just
likes.
couldn't get like worked up. Like I'm giggling half the time because it's just like, oh, this is like a training session, and like if something like this happened again, where it'd be like, oh, this guy that you've trained with a lot, I don't think I would take the match because I just couldn't get into the right mindset. And that's no fault of like Collins or, the matchmaking. It was what it was, but I just couldn't get into it. I got into shape for it, but
You look way less fat. Props to you.
Did you
Thank
feel
you.
that way during training?
what do you mean?
Did you like lose motivation knowing?
I mean,
you were
I
going
kept
towards
training. I was
Colin?
just having fun. I wanted to, as Maine was telling me, not on the podcast, that was the most unenthused interview you've ever given, and I almost cut it out of the show.
It was bad last week, man.
I know.
Like you was right after Game of Thrones. You were super tired, and you were like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a match," and like you were just trying to play off you and like give you more, and you're just like giving me nothing. And then your wife cuts the lights off during the interview, and that was kind of a metaphor for me. Like, all right, that's where this is going.
She was like, "Oh, you're doing this?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay." And she walked away and turned the lights on. Yeah, it was boring.
But again, I think it's interesting that A, you got down to the weight. B, you kind of learned that you may not want to compete against a guy you really know and train with on a professional stage. And that's a really interesting thing because there's plenty of guys that we've talked to that really have no issue fighting guys from their own team. Like Keenan's one of the guys that really would prefer to fight guys from his own team if it comes to.
I think it's a different like scenario in that scheme of things. I don't know. Colin's a really nice dude. That's the other thing. Like, I can't find anything to like hate him for. So I can't do anything. All I know is like I have something coming up where I have to be lighter than I was for this one, and look the fuck out because I was so angry at my performance or lack thereof that I kind of want to hurt somebody.
That's good,
in
Josh.
the next one.
Use that mentality. Go in. We're gonna
Let's stop talking about this.
We're gonna
Like,
cover that event.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
On to the
'cause
next
it's-
match. We had Matt Schellenschlager defeating Mike Easton via decision.
You hitting the microphone, really, that's noise.
My bad, Josh.
It was, Schellenschlager was just on it, and Mike just was like kind of a step behind on that one. What was funny about that was I was getting changed, and he just sees my John Candy tattoo, And he just goes, holy shit, Spaceballs. And everybody goes silent in the changing room and then looks at me and looks at him, and they're like, yeah, you can't just say that.
So if you've never been in the back on Fight to Win, they have usually two
corners,
they have
red and
two
blue.
corners, red and blue, and they usually bring out like a 10x10 mat. Usually for most places, sometimes it's two of them. Usually for the Baltimore cards, it's one 10x10 mat per locker room. And so when Josh says everyone in the changing room, he's talking about like probably 15 guys are typically in the changing room. And at any given time, usually have like 6 or 8 competitors, and then 1 or 2 of their cornermen, and then a guy from their team. So it's like, it's a lot of people. And for everyone to stop and look at you.
I was also like 80% naked.
You kind of usually are backstage, honestly.
No, normally I have clothes on. I just have my underwear on and like half of my shirt coming off. And he just goes, holy shit, Spaceballs. And I'm just like...
Josh has a big-ass barf tattoo on his...
If you've never seen Spaceballs, go see it. You're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't. Anyway, moving on, because we're just going to get all cluttered up. Federico Silva defeated Rob Sullivan via decision. Rob trains with us. Rob, in any other match, would have beaten him. Rob's a brown belt, by the way. He stepped up and took a black belt match. In any other organization, he would have won handily. But because of the submission attempt at the end, Federico took it. Everybody was telling Rob that Federico would pull guard, and I was like, no, I've not seen a single no-gi match of his where he wouldn't stand up and try to take the guy down. And he made very poor decision by standing up with Rob, who is a very good wrestler.
Very, very good wrestler.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob definitely won the wrestling match. Took him down and controlled him, but unfortunately takedowns and control aren't as much as the one sub attempt, which it did make Rob flip. If he hadn't have jumped and flipped, like rolled, it wouldn't have looked so serious, I think.
If he hadn't jumped and
it just
flipped,
gave it a lot of credit.
His
He
arm
might have
might have
got his
gotten...
shit.
No, that's what I mean. If he would
Yeah.
just ripped it out, they would have been like, oh, that's not that much of an arm,
Yeah.
or it doesn't count, but... I don't know.
Rob had like
says
a
he wasn't
good
stuck, so
yeah. Rob had a good squeeze on like a front headlock kind of thing where he was trying to do it, and if you were close enough, like I was because I was cornering him, you could see Federico like it was making him uncomfortable, and he had to move. But that doesn't necessarily mean that other people saw it, and it is what it is. And you could tell by Rob's expression right afterwards, where he was like, "One fucking thing defeats 6 minutes and 45 seconds of me just beating him." And I was like, well, that's how that works.
Yeah.
So, that just lit a fire under his ass. He liked Fight to Win and how they ran things and how everything was going. And so you'll definitely see him, and he definitely put in the work, and that was awesome.
He looked good. He usually, is a big-ass dude. The commentary was like, yeah, what do you weigh in this match? Like, Rob looks like he's about 200 pounds. And it was like, Jesus.
Rob is, again, he is thick, and he does a lot of mace work, and his forearms are the same size as his biceps. So... training with him frequently, when I would try to grab his arm to do something, I'm like, they're just so big. It's so weird.
I'm just happy he's not fighting anymore because we don't have to work on the fence, and doesn't get to punch me in the face off the clinch anymore, which is great.
And he didn't bleed this match.
Which
How
is
about that?
Which is impressive for Rob.
How about that?
that's true.
Gingers bleed.
Yeah.
Rob bleeds a lot.
Moving on. Kenneth Brown defeated Carlos Eduardo Placido Lima by decision. Scott Dance defeated Thomas Hutchinson by rear naked choke, and Felipe Linares defeated Enrique Galarza by decision.
Under the judo matches.
Vernon Kirk defeated Keith Barrett via choke.
And that was submission of the night for the...
Judo?
Well, is it...
For
how do I-
judo?
Did I just say for judo?
For the black belt judo match? Because there's
the
no
black-
other there's no other judo matches, so the judo match.
For the judo matches.
Yes.
Okay.
Nathan Kearney defeated Ernest Ojito by 2 ippons.
And that was fight of the night for the judo matches.
Those are some pretty slick ippons.
Dude, he lifted him, and he did the slam.
Yeah.
He did that, the slam out of the guard, and he got nip on for it. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're using old school Fight to Win rules. So I was at the rules meeting and the weigh-ins for Fight to Win, because whenever they're in Baltimore, I love going to watch the weigh-ins, and because Seth always goes through the rules. And because Fight to Win is actively kind of changing their rules, especially for the judo matches, I think the rules meetings are really good to go to, because every time we get more and more insight on for exactly what Fight to Win is looking for and exactly how they've changed the rules from match to match. Like, I think 2 Baltimore cards ago, they were still allowing you to retie your belt, and then they had a Bill Cooper match where it took 3 minutes to tie the belt, and then the last Baltimore card, there was no more tying of the belt. And
Thanks, Bill Cooper.
But so they change rules frequently to like, keep up with what's the meta and like how they do the resets. And that's why we see them do the resets the way they do the resets, because they talk about, hey, don't move position. Referees are all going to drag you. They get 3 refs up there. They all drag, and they've gotten better and better about that. For the judo matches, I want to clarify something because we see more and more judo matches on Fight to Win. Takedowns and ippons on judo are now basically scored like the IBJJF takedowns for who initiates the takedown. And this comes up a lot with sumagaeshi, which is that kind of sit on your butt and throw back with the butterfly hook on the leg. Now it's whoever initiates the takedown will get the ippon on that.
I think the way you're explaining it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So essentially what's going on is when it comes to judo, from my understanding anyway, is that it has to be like one smooth, fluid motion to get the ippon. But what Seth is allowing to happen is, let's say you get caught midway in the air when somebody's doing like, I don't know, a sacrifice throw or whatever, and you get stuck up in the air a little bit. But if you continue the motion after that little pause and hit him flat to the back, you will still score. And, Seth and I at the end of the card were talking about it, and he was like, it's pretty exciting stuff, right? And I was like, yes, it is. And it's literal old school rules, right? He's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, well, what about like flying scissor takedowns, because that is a judo move? And he goes, nope, not allowed. Kani Basami is not allowed, because the people that were still around that did that was like the people that were competing using that were around in the 80s. So like he's still making sure that people are doing judo in the sense of what they know for the past 30 plus years, even though it's more of an old school rule set. So
you can still do leg grabs. You can still do a lot of the stuff.
Right, but he's still like, hey, no, you can't do a flying scissor takedown, because most people never really did those unless they were around in the 80s, and those people aren't taking the matches.
Right.
So
do you know what Seth is looking to do with judo? Is he looking to just add matches so we have
Make
40? Or is he
make it
looking to
more
have
exciting.
like 15, like 30, 10? Or
I don't know. This was actually the most matches on any card ever, I think.
I think we've seen 3 a couple times. We might have seen 4 once. I know we've seen 3.
No, I'm not talking about judo. I'm just talking about matches in general.
Baltimore had
42,
42 matches on it.
yeah.
I don't think anybody else has had.
We've seen a 40 card. I don't think we've ever seen a 42 card. I know we've seen a 40 card. I think one of the Florida cards.
I thought that was like 36, though. Like that original Miami card where like every single
Yeah.
black belt that applied got on.
Yeah, there was one. I know we've seen a 40. I forget what the 40 was. It might have been an East Coast event. The East Coast events tend to be a little larger because...
It all depends.
Yeah, it all depends. But it was a big-ass card. So I'm
Moving
happy
on.
they're doing judo. I think Seth is... He took a meeting with judo, with the American Judo a little while back.
With judo.
With
judo,
with
the sport
federation.
itself.
And so I'm
the
not sure what
sport
he's
was
doing
like,
with that.
yo, can you do this? And he was like, yeah, I'll think about it. And the final judo match was Eduardo Viana defeating Christian Terrones by 2 ippons.
So
Also a good match.
Every single judo match finished,
Beautiful.
which is awesome. No decisions like judo. The judo dudes that Seth's getting, these matchups are good. Like, it gets me hyped to watch judo. I'm like, oh shit, a judo match? I'm gonna tune in for this.
Yes. So
So-
moving on to the brown belt results.
You took my shit, Josh.
Well, you were taking too long. Cisco, yeah, right. That's not his name. Isada, right?
Cisco.
Francisco Asada,
Yeah,
I believe.
Francisco Asada.
Yeah. But they have it as his Facebook name. So, Francisco Asada defeated Nicholas First by decision. Steven Robertson defeated Mateo Nunez by loop choke.
And that was submission night for the brown belts. And
Mateo went night-night.
dude, in like 10 seconds. Like, this whole match was maybe 25, 30 seconds long. Like, Steven locks up. I literally turned my head and then turned back. I was always locked in the loop choke. And then I watched Mateo drop. And I was like, oh, shit.
He did.
It was the cleanest, smoothest loop choke I've seen in a long time. It was just in, deep, done. I think deservedly submission night for the brown belts. Like, it was just amazing technique. Go back and watch the setup he uses for his hands here, because I mean, we've seen Mateo, I think, on every Fight to Win that's come to Maryland. I know we've seen one. Every single Fight to Win that's come to Maryland. He has the
Bloody head.
He has the bloodiest jiu-jitsu match I've ever seen in the gi. On Fight to Win 53. I talk about it every time. At one point, blood spurts out of Mateo's head. And it got me hype. So
He was asleep for like 5 Mississippi.
He was definitely out for a little while.
There was
it was
another-
a long time.
there was another dude on this card that went to sleep for a little bit too.
Yeah.
That was in purple belt, right?
That was in purple belts. We'll get to that in a minute.
Jared Hampton defeated Marcelo Lopez by armbar. Gary Gioni defeated Todd Levin by toe hold. And man, did he fuck up his foot. Gary is known for his leg locks, and Todd just got caught in there.
Competes locally everywhere. Like I see him, I think almost at every tournament ever. Anything locally, that dude's there competing. And he's like, what, a 4-stripe brown belt now? He's creeping up on black real soon.
Yeah. Ellis Karadag defeated Jared Bosk by decision. Vanessa Griffin defeated Jordan Patrick by decision. Manuel Firefan defeated Alejandro Zea by toe hold. Angelo Claiborne defeated Andre, was it Gois?
I don't know.
I can't remember. By decision. Alfonso Washington defeated James Hardman by decision. And Dan Dykeman defeated Malachi Edmond by decision. And here was where we were talking about we didn't agree with the refs.
I think, honestly, I thought it was a way closer match than I think everyone else did.
I think it was close, but I don't think that Dan won. And I think Dan is a really exciting competitor. I also think Malachi is a very exciting competitor, but I don't think Dan won. But that's my personal opinion. And I wasn't one of the refs, so I can't say what's what.
I think if you look at the fight to win rules, I think it was a little closer than everyone gave it credit for. I think Malachi was more dominant in some of the positional exchanges, but Dan
was finished on the back with like the fucking choke in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's good. I think Dan's back was to the mat. It was interesting. It was definitely a controversial match on the card.
There was booing.
It was my first. It was my first.
My first.
Don't make fun of him, man.
One of my favorite matches.
Oh yeah, it was a very exciting match, very fast paced.
Hard to tell. Dan had a really slick knee bar right at the beginning. Yes, I guess that gave him some of his credit. I couldn't see how tight it was, but it looked like Malachi had to adjust pretty hard to get out of it.
It looked like it was tight for a split second, but then Malachi had basically changed his hips and then immediately pretty much had cleared the knee line. But Dan stayed on it for a while to try to readjust it, but Malachi was kind of ahead of the position and knew where it was. Okay, and knew Dan was going for it. But Dan shot it like real quick and he was like, oh, I gotta, like, this guy's gonna go for stuff.
And he jumped front flipped at him in the beginning or something.
Yeah.
Or like side flipped or something.
Some shit, whatever it was.
Dan came in with some fun shit.
Yeah.
Dan has competed on like every card for the past like 6 cards.
He's only been in a fight to win for, I want to say, like the last 10 or 15 events.
Yeah, but it's a great addition to their crew, and he just jumps in and takes whatever match.
Dude weighed in his tighty-whitey underwears. Like, rolled in on a skateboard to weigh in across, like, he was in the middle of doing setup, and then rolled in. I was like, who is this? Oh, it's Dan. Oh, shit. And, like, weighed in, did the thing. I was like, all right, this is going to be a match.
Anyway, moving on to purple belts because Maine is just holding it on again. Rico Staten defeated Tadaya Danaforth by armbar. Jesus fucking Christ, will you guys slow down so we can watch the match?
I want to say this was a 132 match.
I want to say that it was at light speed.
It was.
Go back and watch this match. This match was fun as shit. Both these guys.
Kids,
we cover Rico before. We cover Rico not infrequently. We cover Tadaya on a bunch of the Simone stuff that we see him on, and holy shit, this was a lot of fun. Like,
as the kids would say, that match was lit.
It was lit, Josh. Again, the speed. Both these guys never took their foot off the gas the entire time. It was up, it was down. It was sub attempts from either party, and dude, flash hits. But I can only term as like a flash armbar, and like jumps over, grabs the arm. Super exciting match. Go back and watch the match.
Good
now
passing.
I'm gonna look away from Maine because he's a cripple, and I'll look to the other tiny person that's in the room, Ryan.
Yeah.
Could you continually move that quickly?
No.
Okay, because I know you.
Not for the amount of time that I feel like he was, because he actually did a jumping armbar like at the beginning. Popped back up, started passing, and eventually finished with like another flying armbar.
What about that point where he like dove over him and almost did like a fucking front flip trying to take his back, whiffed it, and then somehow like fucking army rolled and still got to his back?
Yeah, the transitions were ridiculous.
Yeah, and being as that I have trained with Ryan a whole lot, and now he's at a different gym. Not mad at him.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, you said that's super fucking weird.
Secretly, I'm going to murder him after the show. Yeah. But like trying to keep up with Ryan at certain points is just, it's tiring. So anytime I would try to, I would just throw something stupid at him to slow him down, because if not, it's just like a nonstop. Anybody like below 140 pounds just doesn't stop moving unless you're Maine and you're stupid. So moving on.
Hey. You can't. You can't stop moving.
Yeah, you cripple. Anyway, Paul Lewandowski defeated Jose Madrazo by decision. Jose is one of my former training partners and Ryan's current training partners.
Dude, Jose is a monster.
I think that was a bad decision as well.
I also think it was a bad decision. However,
not you guys are biased at all.
I always feel like Jose can perform a little, not always, but in this case especially, he could have performed a little better than he did.
Yeah.
Isn't he
I know him for what he's good at, and he didn't really do any of it. He just was like, it just, and I don't know if it was the rule set, and he listened to the rules, and maybe, I think he was like, oh, I'll go for more cross collars, and he does a lot of Ezekiels and stuff, but I don't know, every once in a while, just like he was reaching for shit.
Yeah.
Isn't he like the purple belt, like Masters world champion or like Pans champion?
Yes.
Yeah.
He wins shit like every weekend. He's in some IBJJF
absolute
tournament.
Well, if you're a fucking heart doctor and you have all that free time, then yeah. By the way, he's a cardiologist and he still trains all the fucking time. He's awesome.
Like one of the best cardiologists, which is the crazy part.
I don't know about that claim.
He does this. He's definitely one of the best cardiologists, and he does this as a sport.
Can you confirm?
I cannot confirm. I assume all his patients are dying.
Okay,
trains
good.
A lot.
So, Maine is talking out of his ass, and most of the people that
he's probably
Dr. Madrazo treats are dead.
He's probably a terrific professional.
More than likely, he still has a job. Nicholas Wiley, in his glory and singlet, defeated Dave Brennan, our training partner, by Kimura.
That was submission of the night for the purple belts, and he finished him with 1 second left. 1 second.
As we were talking to Dave, and Dave was like, I wish I wouldn't have tapped. And I was like, dude, you didn't know how much time there was, and what I'm going to be like, hey, there's 3 seconds left. Don't let him rip your arm more out of the way.
Yeah.
And his arm was like, no joke, backwards facing. It looked disgusting.
I cover a lot of jiu-jitsu. I watch a lot of jiu-jitsu. I watch more jiu-jitsu than we talk about on the show. It was the deepest I've ever seen a Kimura where the guy's arm didn't break. Like literally like dislocate or break. It was disgusting. I had to turn my face away because I know David and I train with him like pretty frequently when I'm not
You don't train with him. You're broken.
Hey, when I wasn't broken, I trained with him pretty frequently, and it was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And I've seen arms go less back and break.
It reminded me of Krellenstein when he was triangle deck. Krellenston.
Yeah, I fucked it up for like 6 months. It's Krellenston. There's no I in the name. Ethan
you
Krellenston.
Anyway, he popped somebody's shoulder by having him in like a triangle trap position. That it looked exactly like that, and I was waiting for that to happen again.
It was pretty gross, but Dave like messaged us and he was like, just in case you guys want to know, I can wipe my ass. So his shoulder is sore, but he's okay. But it definitely looked gross.
It looked disgusting. Also, he runs Just the Tap, and it's another kind of jiu-jitsu outlet. He writes articles about jiu-jitsu and other interesting things. He did a whole like write-up on the data of all the different promotions and their submission percentages for the black belts, and he's done some really cool analytic work, and I'm a big fan of his work. Find his stuff on justthetapbjj.com.
Moving on, David Diaz defeated James Herman by decision. Michael Anthony Castroba defeated Aaron Perez by heel hook. Andre Gunko.
Yo, you said, we can't gloss over. That was a super weird way to fucking say that.
See what I got to deal with when I'm here.
He's just being fun. He's being like,
God.
All right, continue.
Something to it.
Anyway, Andre Gunko defeated Captain Killjoy. You have to stop the recording because you're like, you said heel hook funny.
That's what I'm saying. I'm Captain Killjoy. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, whatever. Andre Gunko defeated Byung-Ju Lee by split decision. Stephen Wilkinson defeated David Norton via decision.
And that was Friday the night for the purple belts.
Matt Crockett defeated Zamir Ahadzada. There we go. Killed it by decision. Logan Yox defeated Nick Covelio. What were we saying?
I think that was Covelio. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember because they said it on the thing, but I think we've definitely screwed up his name a bunch. Anyway, defeated him by armbar. Benjamin, a.k.a. Benjamin Lagos, defeated Kerry Caprio by decision. Dante Cano defeated Shane Buckman by choke, and that was that fucking deep-ass bow and arrow choke.
Dude, he was in the bow and arrow for a while.
Yeah.
And then he got put unconscious for a while.
Maybe this was the one I was thinking
This
of.
was the one you're thinking of.
This was the one.
This was like 8 Mississippi.
Yeah.
I kept looking at the screen, then looking at the stage and looking at the screen, and it's one of those moments where I'm like, any moment now, he's going to wake up. And then I was like, he's dead. I hope they have somebody for this situation.
God damn, Ryan.
Like, no, I think at one point when that was happening and he was just asleep, and I just went, well, he dead. And I just walked away and started doing something else because I was like, he might legitimately be dead. No, somebody just died from jiu-jitsu. R.I.P.
Somebody call his mom.
You guys are the most morbid motherfuckers ever. God damn.
He was out for so long.
He was dead for a while.
Too long.
He legit,
I'll say
his soul was looking down at his body, was like, man, you had a good run. And then all of a sudden it was like, nah, not right now, son. And he went back and he was like, fuck.
It was exactly one of those moments where he was sitting there and it was like, it's not your time. And then he just got sucked back into the real world.
He was legit like crossing the river Styx, and they were like, oh, fuck, you forgot to pay your toll. Get the fuck out.
So I watched this match and I was like, oh yeah, I've got put to sleep for a couple times, like real long, because I'm a stubborn individual. I'm stupid. Mm-hmm. And I realized that once I had 6 people around me, and I looked at the time frame it took from when he was asleep on a professional event for them to get guys around him, and then me during rounds in the gym to get 6 people around me had to have been much longer. And I went, oh, how long was I asleep for?
Well, again, close to death.
Yeah.
Moving on, John Johnson defeated Dave Hill by split decision.
He's got a 301 MMA. He's got a Christina Barlin seminar coming up later this week.
It's tonight.
No, that's a GFT.
She's in this area right now.
Yes, and his seminars are on Thursday.
Whatever. She's like teaching it all over the place this week. Anyway, so if you're in the area and you're listening to this, try to find one of the places in Maryland and you can go train there, or DC. John Johnson, Dave Hill, split decision. Volley Hollins defeated Jonathan Haas by decision, and AJ Lemus defeated Nick Bucher by choke.
On to the kids' results.
Who named that child? Jesus. Max Isfrabeck.
That's just a last name,
Max
Josh.
is okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they chose Max.
Your last name is Weinstein.
Because they were like, let's give him hope.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to pronounce. There's an S and an F next to each other.
Isfrabeck.
I feel like with a name, like last name like that, it should at least be Maximus.
Oh, what happens if that was his name, though?
It probably is Maximus.
It probably is.
Anyway, he defeated Gabriel Silva by armbar.
And that was Friday of the night for the kids and teens.
That was a gross-ass armbar, too. I mean, for kids' sake, it was like...
Man, it's a professional kids match.
Who was the ref of that match?
One of them.
Okay. Was it Josh Peters?
No.
Okay.
Because he had the armbar, and it was almost like the kid like looked up. I don't know. They were all like looking at the ref, like,
that's Vicente's
kid. Is this okay? Am I gonna break this? Should I break this?
Anyway, Enzo Yamasaki defeated Evan Hayworth by decision. That's the entire card.
That's a good match too.
Everybody was super friendly there. We all were shooting the shit, having fun. I told Troy that I forgot to wear my Pigeon 316 shirt because I just couldn't find it in the mounds of laundry that are in my house because I have children. And he was like, you lost it already? I was like, no, I got you, fam. I still got it. It's a great shirt. If you can, hit him up, make him make a second run. It's hilarious.
Buy a Pigeon 316 shirt. Well, we have patches, by the way, as well. Speaking of other merchandise.
Oh, we got those in there here?
No, I got the confirmation that I've been billed and they've been shipped.
Jesus.
Are they coming from Pakistan?
They are not. They're coming from Dallas or from...
If you're not aware,
somewhere else.
This is a
I'm just getting
more so a joke between Maine and I because we see the messages that come in through our Facebook, and every week, some dude from Pakistan.
We manufacture high-quality martial arts gear for you, can do custom designs. You know,
every week.
This link and this, like, 47-digit international number that you should call with a bunch of emojis and martial arts and,
very weird
Taekwondo every week, man.
Every week.
On Instagram,
and
on
all it
Facebook,
is
on Twitter.
No thanks. And they're like, okay. And then it's the same damn company.
I had one of them that was like, I was like, no thank you, and he goes, why?
Yeah, that was funny. It's like, because we're a podcast. We don't need that.
We don't need that. You did 5 fire emojis, and we enjoy 7, you lazy piece of shit.
It's just all the fucking time. Like, so
man.
We're going to get patches out soon. I don't know if we're going to sell them, but a couple people have hit us up like, hey, give me a patch. I was like, oh, shit, I might have to do more patches. So if you're interested in a patch.
Can you get adult-size onesies made?
I can get anything made.
Would you wear a onesie?
Yes.
Okay, you got to get onesies then.
I'm going to get you T-shirts first.
I mean,
I have a T-shirt. I don't have to worry about that.
A fan made us T-shirts at the beginning, and so
can we get fanny packs?
We can get. Like I said, we can get whatever we want printed. I just have to
Bobo socks.
What's a bobo sock?
You know the really high socks with the stripes at the top?
I can get
like old man
Josh,
socks?
If it's an item, yes, I can get a Grappling Rewind version of it made. It
Condoms?
is possible. Yes, actually that's easy to do. That's actually really easy. You can Amazon do that. You can custom condom prints.
2 out of the 3 of the people here right now have definitely had unprotected sex because there's proof.
True.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did math. I was like, why do they know? Oh, kids, right? I get the joke.
That's why I'm so confused.
You're like, wait.
We never had unprotected. No.
For those who don't know, Josh has 2 children and Ryan has 1 child.
One child.
I mean, English.
Anyway.
So that does it for Fight to Win 109 in Baltimore, Maryland. Again, can't say thanks enough to Fight to Win and the whole crew, Troy, Seth, Missy, Evan.
Everybody.
Everyone. Dan, Brittany. Who the fuck am I forgetting?
4 or 5 people easily.
Like half the team. Joel.
There you go. Good job.
Thanks to everyone. Again, we always love covering Fight to Win live. It is, if you ever get a chance to go to a Fight to Win in your area,
go.
It was awesome.
Definitely go.
First time being there. Love to be in the back. At seeing everybody walk around, like it's a different energy from being there for sure. There's times when I'm watching the event and I blame it for being boring, and I'm actually just like walking around doing multiple different things, looking at my phone and not really engaging and giving it the chance. When you're there, not only can you like feel the energy, but you're kind of sucked into it, and it was so much more fun to watch being there, hear the slams, like see the mat shake and everything when stuff goes down. It was a good time.
You calling me fat, Ryan?
So they actually had a different stage this time.
Every judo match.
So they had the event staging. They didn't have their own staging, so it actually was less bouncy this time.
Oh, that's why the slams weren't as noisy. See, I could have won if the slams were noisier.
Yeah, see, you would have got more points.
Son of a bitch.
So again, can't recommend Fight to Win enough. There's one in your area. Go see them. Go support your guys that are in your local area.
Apply for it. How about that?
Apply for it. It is the most fun you will have at a grappling event.
They treat you real good.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Moving on to previews.
Yeah.
So on to our preview of the ADCC European Trials, but not really because I can't find any sort of competitor list for that event. So we're going to talk about some of the invites that happened this week. We have Michael Musumeci being added to the under 66 kilogram division. We have Gary Tonin being added to the under 77 kilogram division. We have
Keenan added to the 88.
Yep, Keenan added under 88. We also have
Hamelo at 99.
Jackson Souza at 99.
Panza at 99.
We also have at above 99.
Zapato, a.k.a. Antonio Carlos Jr. We have Orlando Sanchez.
Zapato means shoe face, by the way.
Yes,
in case you didn't know.
I'm aware.
I know you know. I'm not sure the listeners
Jared Dopp,
know.
Kanan Duarte,
Yep.
Jal Gabriel Hosha.
The women's under 66 kilogram division.
Fionn Davies.
That'll be exciting. I'm excited to see what she does. And we have the women's over 60 kilogram division. We got Jessica Flowers. We also have 2 more invites in the women's plus 66 kilogram division, and we have, I think, one more invite available for all the men's divisions.
One of them has 2. I think it's the plus 99 has 2.
Yeah, it has 2. That's
turn
correct.
off your phone, bitch.
That's the computer.
Turn off your computer notifications, bitch.
And you can't hear it on the broadcast. So thanks for calling it out, Josh. So I think big news is Gary going into the ADCC and for Michael Musumeci. Like that's big news that they're both into this.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We'll see how that goes. People I'm not excited for: Orlando Sanchez, Rustem Chiziev. Those are just gonna be like boring.
And moving on, Ryan, you got anything else?
No. Why are they boring? Just bully-like?
Have you watched an Orlando Sanchez ADCC match?
Yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah, maybe not.
You'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wait for it. All right, so that does it for ADCC invite recap. On to the next one. So on to our preview of Fight to Win 110 in Cleveland, Ohio. This event is main evented by 175-pound black belt gi match Jamie Canuto versus Michael Lira Jr.
A lot of times you hear his name, they call him Jaime.
Is he Jaime?
It might be it, but I like Jamie better because America.
Yeah, is it
America? Yeah.
Is the J pronounced like an H in Portuguese?
I have no.
You can't just throw around H's wherever you want.
They do, man.
They do. Who
They
cares?
sure
Like
do.
they all murdered their family.
If you don't know,
They're like Ricks and Gracie, not Hicks and Gracie. Like Henner, Huron, Hauff,
Okay.
Horian.
Okay,
Pick 'em.
let's Let's keep.
If you saw the alphabet, it would be like A, B, C, D, H, and then like keep going.
That's it. Just H, 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 H.
On to the co-main event, a
240-pound purple belt gi match. I'm taking over, motherfucker.
Stipe Miocic versus Aaron Howard.
I don't know who Aaron Howard is, but this will be really interesting.
He's in the gi, dude.
Stipe's doing it for charity, so sweet.
Is he 240? I guess so. Yeah, heavyweight.
He's about 240. Most heavyweights that are in the top
He's a biggin.
are about 240. That's kind of like the most competitive weight where guys have like the speed as well as the strength as well as the size.
His head looks like a fucking milk jug. That's all I know.
He's a
big ass noggin.
Big ass dude. He's honestly the most decorated UFC heavyweight of all time. 3 heavyweight defenses against legit competition.
That just shows like that heavyweight isn't really the like gold standard of fighting.
Man, you're such a hater. I love watching Stipe.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind watching him either. But like people are like, man, he's defended 3 times. I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, like 99% of all the other champions.
That's reasonable.
Anyway,
I'm super excited about this. Like, I love watching Stipe. So to see him in like a fight to win stage in a gi, that's some crazy shit.
I'm hoping he accidentally starts throwing punches.
We have a super heavyweight black belt gi match.
Max Jimenez versus Alexander Huddleston.
We have a 220-pound black belt gi match.
George Ollier versus Louis Armazani. Ooh, killed it.
We have a 175-pound black belt gi match.
Tom Kozlowski versus Robbie Maloff.
We have a 170-pound black belt judo match.
Andrew Law versus Chris Collins.
We have a 170-pound black belt gi match.
Mark Vives.
I've been getting away for like 6 months.
I know, but I'm saying Mark Vives versus Pablo Castro.
Because I spoke to him.
What do you say, Vives?
I said Vives for like the first year.
We both said Vives for...
And then I talked to him, and then I DM'd him. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm messing up your name. And he goes, it's Vives. Or Vives. Fuck.
Damn it.
You dumbass.
Yeah, I'm a dumbass.
Rafael Lovato, right?
Yeah, man, it's got the R. It throws me off. We have a 160-pound black belt gi match.
John Lawrence versus Brad Bukovitz.
140-pound black belt no-gi bout.
Douglas Kolbis versus Christopher Kreibel.
140-pound black belt no-gi match.
Rob Hilleman versus Zach Maslany.
Oh, that's good as fuck. Zach Maslany's a black belt at Temple in Bethlehem. Went up and trained with him a while back. We have a super heavyweight brown belt gi title bout.
Chris Robertson versus Pedro Zapata.
We have a light heavyweight brown belt no-gi title.
Emil Fisher versus Matt Paul.
That'll be a fun-ass match. That was a really good title match. That's one you should definitely tune in for.
That's a really white name.
I mean,
That's the one that you say is a really white name?
Yeah, I guess there are others.
Matt's also a really white
Matt
guy,
Paul.
so like doesn't.
Okay,
help.
well there we go. Perfect.
Let's see.
Says the guy that's
Brittany Alkin's boyfriend.
Oh,
that's that Matt Paul.
You're just putting that out there, relationship status and shit. Sorry,
it's
Brittany,
on Facebook.
Fucking shithead, just throwing people's relationships under the bus. Maybe they just try to keep it on the hush hush.
It's on Instagram.
As you fucking scroll past the next
purple
match.
belts and brown belts.
Oh, really? Go back up, and then you're gonna apologize right after I punch you in the spine.
Oh shit!
Ready?
We have a 205-pound brown belt gi match.
Ben Cinna versus Troy fucking Everett. You dick.
My bad. Sorry, Troy.
God, you guys were like sitting there like you were best friends talking about recipes.
Did we talk about recipes?
This is what I deal with all the fucking time.
This is what Emil deals with all the time.
No, like he was sitting there and you two were just gabbing away. It was.
I like talking to Troy.
I wish I had filmed it because it was like so cute how like excited you were, and Troy was just like carrying on a conversation. You were like, yeah, and Troy's like, yeah, that's great.
Fuck you, Josh. I get excited. I get excited as shit.
He was like, oh, you're like one of those dogs that has to wear those wheels on their back legs because they're crippled. And that's how he was treating you. I was going to say one of those
blankets for anxiety.
You mean thunder jackets?
Yeah, exactly.
God, I hate you guys so much.
That's what the geese
Love
do.
you, Troy.
Just tie the belt tightly. It's like a thunder jacket.
Bunch of great other matches on the card. A lot of guys we cover off and on. Out to the purple belts and the brown belts. Definitely a card not to miss. Super excited for it. It takes place on April 27th. Tune in. So on to our preview of the Brothers 8-woman event. This is a 150-pound 8. He says 8-man. It's an 8-woman tournament at 150 pounds. We have
8-person.
8-woman tournament. It's listed as Brothers. The event is called Brothers 8-man. but it is a female tournament this time. So it's the Brothers 8-man.
Why's it got to be a man thing, huh?
Because that's what the event's
Equal
named.
rights.
That's what the event's named. So.
I'm going to butcher names. Going out here. Hannah, it's either Harjo or Harjo versus Angela Rojas. Ooh, I killed it. Killed that one. There we go. Followed by Ha Bui versus Rachel Garcia. And I feel so bad about these names. Anissa Scott versus Stephanie Madden. Okay, that was an easy one. And then we have Stephanie Geltmacher versus Dana Winters. And that rounds out, it's 8 ladies. They're going in. How much was it? Like, go back to that.
It is $4.
It's for the monies.
It's for money.
That's cool. I always like when people get paid.
So yeah, it's a paid tournament. Take a look. It usually streams on James Partridge's Facebook page, so I'm not sure where this is going to be streamed, but I think that is
click on that one again there.
This one?
Yeah, click on it. Okay, maybe it's not.
I think that's
they
where
only
it's
win
streamed.
$5.
They win more than that.
I think it's only $5 to go.
Yeah, the spectator fee is $5.
It would, but wouldn't that be hilarious?
Hey, it's an 8-woman tournament. Cash prize $5.
$1.50 for every sub.
God,
is that right?
Man. Was this 1910, Ryan?
No, that's
not right.
That's wrong.
Nobody do the math.
Ryan Stark, everyone. Homeowner and parent.
That's $4.50.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, so
right. You were close.
Yeah. So that does it for that preview.
Yeah. After.
So on to our preview of the Abu Dhabi World Championships taking place in Abu Dhabi.
Are you sure that's where it is?
Yeah, I'm sure that's where it is, Josh. I looked it up this time. Fuck you. So we're going to start with the female gi, the brown and black division. UAEJJF combines brown and black belt women into single brackets to make larger brackets.
This one's 49 kilos. Tatiana Nunez, Isabella Kuti, Sariu Toledo, and Tamirez Aquino.
55 kilogram Brazilian qualifier.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
they
wait,
do
so
qualify. These
yeah.
are just qualifiers. That's right. You have to fight in to be able to get into the actual bracket.
To represent your
shit.
country. So this is like when you get like the brackets of death. This is UAEJJF Worlds, and it's some monstrous shit. So you want to go through all of these or now? In the 62 kilogram, we got Bia Mesquita and...
That's just a qualifier.
Heather Rafferty. Yeah.
That's not Heather Rafferty. Heather Rafferty's name is not Deborah.
Oh, Jesus. I read Rafferty and I fucking moved on.
That's not even Rafferty.
Yeah, I'm dumb. All right. So.
Is Bia Mesquita in there?
Yeah, that's her
Okay,
name's
good.
actually there. That's,
Yep.
God, you're an idiot.
I'm
That's
definitely
great.
an idiot. We have Natalia Jesus in the 90 kilogram for the Brazilian qualifiers. Moving on to the men's Brazilian qualifier.
Kleber Fernandez, Alex Lira, Carlos Alberto da Silva, Jose Lima, Oziel Carvalho. These are just qualifiers.
This is just the qualifier. So this is again.
I wonder how big this thing is that we're looking at that we're not 100% prepared for. Anyway, this is for the 62 kilo Brazilian qualifier. Danilo Barbosa Moreira, Victor Nunes Souza Pinto, Diego Medeiros Marinho, João Bosco Gouveia, João Miao, Pablo Dutra, Luis Eduardo da Costa. I'm fucking killing these names.
That was really good.
Thank you.
As Josh
Namesake.
yells
So-
in the mic.
All of those, it says incomplete registrations. I'm thinking because
Pussies.
Because they haven't basically finalized it yet. I think they're after going to do the Brazilian qualifiers, but they're listed as not paid and approved. So again, these major events are always impossible to cover.
we'll talk about some more Brazilian qualifiers.
Brazilian
'cause
qualifier
I'm
for
going to
the-
almost guarantee that every single one of the divisions is probably won by a Brazilian.
Usually, yeah. So the 94 kilogram Brazilian qualifier. We got Keenan Duarte. We got Jackson Souza. We got Renato Cardosa. We got that name, Josh?
Orenes Neto?
Yeah. I think
Paulo
honestly,
Pinto?
I think that's probably Duarte's to lose.
Yes, and then we have the under 110 kilo. Don't you touch my fucking microphone.
You got to talk into
I'll
Josh.
talk into whatever I want to.
That's obvious right now.
Igor Silva, Andrano Mata, Fabio Martins, Rodrigo Ribeiro, Mateus Felipe da Silva Xavier, João Gabriel Rocha, Marcio Lima, and Helton Silva Jr. And, here's the main brackets. Why didn't we just scroll down more? Because
it's confusing.
We don't do these kind of things.
What's the maybe a dumb question. At least I'll start it with that. What's the difference between the qualifier and the main bracket?
You can't have more than 2 people from a country in the division. So if there's more than 2 people in that division, one goes in by highest amount of points or whatever, and then everybody else has to battle to get in. So there's a tournament within a tournament just to get into the main qualifiers to win the monies.
Okay. Because it's a cash prize. It kind of runs like the Olympics runs, except instead of doing trials ahead of time, you got to fight in at the event.
So let's look at it this way. The 49-kilo main bracket is Margarita Ocha, Maisa Bastos, Julia Pareja, Alina Mostem, Serena Gabrielli, and the Brazilian qualifier.
I'm going Bastos on that one.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's a good call.
She's a monster. The 55-kilo main bracket, Bianca Basilio, Rose El Sharouni, Kajusa Horman, Amal Amajadi, I probably killed that one, Amelia Tukenen, and the Brazilian qualifier.
I'd take Tukenen there.
The 62-kilogram main bracket, Larissa Paez, Fionn Davies, Jane Minondo, Nicole Sullivan, Nikki Sullivan.
Yeah.
Nope.
Moving on.
Hold on. Boyan Delger, Botscott. I'm gonna say they are probably Mongolian. Mongolian.
Yeah.
Kira Sung, April Eppinger, Julia Mael, and the Brazilian qualifier.
I think we're going to see Fionn and Nicole Sullivan in the finals.
Dude, Fionn is just on a tear so far.
Yeah, she beat Matuda recently. She just got the invite to ADCC.
Won Pans.
Pans. She's won the Europeans as well. Like, just been on a monster tear this year.
The 70-kilogram main bracket. Don't you give me the hurry up. Yara Kakish, Alessandra Moss, Reina Quabaj, Samantha Cook, Tamara Silva, Maria. Oh man, I can't. Like, some of these names are hard. Vedha Toscano and Carolina Schauer. Is that her partner's last name? Is that what's her name's last name? I don't know. I
believe it might be. Okay. Which is why. So I think that's Carolina Vieira.
Yeah.
So I think her and Cook are front runners to take that one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. On to the female brown belt, black belt 90-kilogram division for the ladies.
Claire France Thevonen, Gabrielle Pisagna, Chantel Thompson, Marta Zareka. Oh man, it can't be helped. Francisca Flores, Yana. Oh, nope, skip. And
all right, let's not read through all the fucking names, Josh. Dear Lord, you haven't been here in a while. We don't usually read through every single fucking name.
We try to.
No, we don't. Not anymore.
110, main bracket, male, black belt. Ricardo Evangelista, Walter Dos Santos, Elgar Rafael.
Antonio Jr., the Brazilian qualifier, and a bunch of other people. On to the 65-kilogram
56.
Male.
Thiago George, Masaki Todokoro, there we go. Nobuhiro Sawada, Andre Verdamari, and the Brazilian qualifier.
The 62-kilogram main bracket.
Virgilio Carvalho, Alexis Aldunsin, João Batista de Souza,
and some other individuals with hard names. The 69-kilogram bracket.
Ulysses Kerr, Tiago Marquez, Murillo Amaral, Paulo Miao.
And Helton Silva is in there as well.
Silva, yeah.
We have a 69-kilogram main bracket, and it is a big one.
That's a big one. Let me see if I know any names on here.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's Isaac Doderlin's in there.
George Nakamura.
Yep, Nakamura's in there. Dude, this is probably...
That is a huge bracket for that.
That's a big-ass bracket. Yep, and that's not even the incomplete registrations yet. We have a 77-kilogram bracket.
Let's see. Tiago Bravo, Julio Jr., Mateus Mizell, who else? Antonio Silva, Caio Almeida.
Guilherme Rocha is in there as well. Tiago Bravo's in there as well.
Lucas Freitas.
That's a good division. Damn.
Oh, wow, that's a big one.
A 77-kilogram main bracket for the men's black belt.
Let's see. Bruno Borges.
Enrique Galarza's in there as well. Levi Jones Leary's in there. He's probably the front runner I'd give to take that whole division.
Who else is in there, though? Pedro Ramallo. Darryl O'Connell, that's a pretty...
Tommy Langacker's in there.
Ooh. That's going to be
an awesome bracket.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to get probably Levi Jones and Tommy.
It depends on how it's It's bracketed.
Right, but I'm thinking that at some point they'll probably run into each other. So onto the 85-kilogram bracket. Igor Souza, we have Thiago Silva, which doesn't help anyone because there's like 80 guys named Thiago Silva. It's the Thiago Silva you're thinking. We have Zaki Braz in there as well.
Izaki Behance.
Yeah.
I like how you said Braz, but you were like, oh, everybody knows that that's his last
Sorry,
name.
like we see him enough that you should know at this point. And if you don't, that's Zaki Behance.
Yeah.
He's a front runner to probably win this division. He's
Yeah.
a very hard dude to beat. We see him in King of Mats all the time. He's super exciting. Manuel Filo is in here as well. Who's that?
Oh, that's just the Brazilian qualifier. That's not
Oh
the
my
main
god,
bracket.
that's just the Brazilian qualifier.
Go down.
Under the main bracket for this, which is the size of the qualifier, we have for the 85-kilogram division. We have DJ Jackson, Bones, Devontae Johnson. Who else do we have?
Hudson Mateus, Viking Wong. Man.
Jan Almeida's in there.
Oh, the what's his name? Son, the Sheik's son, Faisal Al Ketbi. Oh,
Damn.
Wow. Yeah.
Under the 94-kilogram main bracket, we got Erberth Santos.
Fuck him.
Adam Wardzinski.
Good.
Hassan Merida. This is the first time he will competing in a major for black belt since he got black belt.
Oh yeah. How about that?
Yep, that's exciting. So that we should honestly, I assume we're probably going to see Erberth, Wardzinski, or
It all depends.
Hassan.
Like, you never know with like some of these brackets.
yeah. And then that's it for the black belts.
No. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah. We're
sure?
brown belt qualifiers now.
Well, go down to see if there's any more because we always tend to fuck things up and go.
That's it.
That's it. All right, cool.
So
That's
that is going to be a major event. Tune into that. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to die trying to cover it as per usual, as well as covering ADCC this weekend. So enjoy that. So that does it for this week's show. We finally have 3 mics set up, and Emil didn't bring the Yeti mic, so I actually have 3 mics that we can use on a regular basis.
I like how you said Emil didn't bring it, like Emil's here and he's just not talking.
No, I mean, like, last time I was like, we were going to do 3 hosts because we were going to do the same host on 2 mics again, and I went, let me actually buy some more mics. So I bought some mics, and now we have 3 mics.
Nice.
So this has been another experiment. Now I actually own 4 mics to use at the same time, and we can do more hosts. So we're very slowly becoming a more professional show, and that's in the biggest air quotes ever possible.
This microphone even has a cover in front of it. That's how professional
That's
this shit
a
is.
pop filter.
It's a brand new microphone.
A
Ryan, you're
super
talking
nice
to a brand new microphone that I took out of the box
Super nice.
yesterday and then set up today. So it's good.
Oh,
Josh
shit.
is talking to the old mic that I've actually got to replace soon.
Oh, the old mic. God.
This mic, I'm talking to a 10-year-old mic. At least.
Really?
Yeah.
Looks fancy.
I take good care of my shit.
Says main spine.
I mean, it's not wrong. Dude, I'm going to pain management tomorrow, though. Or, sorry, on Wednesday. I'm super excited. They're
What
gonna
the
be
fuck
like,
is a pain management?
it's going to be like probably going to shoot my back with stuff. They're going to be like, here's
With
cortisone.
electrodes?
No, that's not
They're
going to
going
work
to
for what I have.
electrocute you?
I don't, dude. At this point, they could stab me in the thigh. Be like, all right, if that helps, let's do it. Like, it sucks.
Can I hit you in the back?
No, you cannot. My back, it's
Can
not.
I hug you
What
really
if they
hard?
stab you in the thigh and they're like, now you won't focus on your back so much? And you'll be like,
What
"Fuck
happens
you
if they
guys."
pull it Ricky Bobby style where you're like, I'll do it, and you stab yourself in the leg and you look at him like, it doesn't hurt, and then you just start screaming?
That would be awesome.
I would hope I'm not there right
Help
now.
me, Jesus. Help me, Jewish God. Help me, Oprah.
Yeah. So I'm going to that soon. So hopefully I'll be able to fucking train soon. That
God,
would be
I
great.
hope not. You know how great the gym has been without your obnoxiousness there?
God, I hate you, Josh. I'm so happy life got busy. You can't be here every week. And Emil is nicer to me. God, he's Austin and Emil, because they don't know yet, they're so much nicer to me. It's great.
They're nice guys.
Even Ryan's nice. He's super quiet.
Yeah.
But
Ryan is not nice. That's what the thing is. Like, Ryan just waits for those tiny little times where you fuck up really bad, and he just dives in and fucks your life.
I like that. Yeah, it's good. That's a good like explanation of how I think about it too.
Yeah. you wait for the opportune moment and just come in and like.
Oh, yeah. Just to pour
murder.
salt all in that wound.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm missing right now because you had to continue to make me talk?
What?
Training.
Go fucking train then.
At 8:47?
Yeah. Go.
It's comp training right now. Everybody's going to be done. By the time I get there, it's going to be almost 9. What the fuck am I going to do? Stand there with my dick in my hand?
Go to another gym.
Here, hey.
What kind of
hey,
training
you
is that?
You want to go to form?
Yeah.
You want to go to form?
Yeah.
Anybody there right now?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
Go to Gamma.
At 9 o'clock, they're done.
No, they're not.
doing-
They start rounds at 9.
Bullshit.
On Monday night, yeah. It's a big class. Go.
Do you want to go train? Do you want to leave your wife at home with your child?
No.
All right, so that does it for this week on the Grappling Rewind. As always, unfortunately, I am Maine here with my co-hosts.
I'm Josh, and
I'm Ryan.
Man, we're awesome. Fuck Maine. He smells. He's broken. It's great. We love his dog. We hate him.
We'll see you on the
guys
mats.
On the mat.
If you like the show, please consider sharing it on Facebook with the folks at your gym. It's the best way that we grow the show, and we really appreciate it. You can reach out to us on email.
We also have Instagram. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We have Google+.
Until that shuts down.
We have a website.
If you have an event you would like to have us cover, please let us know. If you have a name, like most people do, and you'd like to have us stop butchering it,
let us know.
Reach out to us. The show is also available on YouTube, Spotify, in addition to iTunes and every other podcast service. We very much appreciate your time, and thank you.